Hi, this is Gene Acasella from Port St. John, Florida, and you're listening to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
And welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is a show where we talk about all things that are important to the world of barbecue and grilling, originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening's live fire fun and frivolous show. If you want to get in touch with the show this evening, there are two bits of contact information that I would like to share with you at this very moment. Take it away, big voice guy.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at bbqcentralshow.com. or on the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you get the newsletter coming up in about 13 minutes from now, maybe 12 minutes. He is a longtime sponsor of this show. He is a longtime friend of mine and my family, and I would like to thank friend of his family as well. And an all-around great human being, a patriot, the list goes on, but has created one of the most talked about and successful cookers to have ever hit the market. Very simple to operate, producing the most succulent and tasty food that you could possibly stuff in your pie hole. And it's all done well below the cost of most elaborate cookers on the market these days. I am, of course, talking about making his triumphant return back to the Barbecue Central Show jungle, Noah Glanville from Pit Barrel Cooker, pitbarrelcooker.com. We're going to be talking about the business of Pit Barrel. We're going to be talking about any new products. Last year, we touched on some new things that didn't necessarily materialize in 2020, perhaps for a number of various reasons, not the least of which is you know what. So we'll touch base on that. Plus, I have something very sexy to show you that's just off to my left. We'll tease a few other things as well. Noah Glanville, 14 past. Then we'll move to 35 past the first hour. And, of course, I will be joined by regular fourth Tuesday of the month guest, barbecue journalist Derek Riches. He has written a new piece on the olden days of barbecue internet, which I was kind of a part of. I've been a part of all of this on the internet stuff, and I didn't even really know it. But here I am 14 years later doing a live show. Before that, doing a podcast. Before that, having a barbecue forum. We're going to talk to Derek about all of that. I'm going to let him know that I've booked the creator of Smoked Barbecue Source, Joe Clements, on this show. We'll get his reaction to that and some follow-up questions I might want to ask him when I have him on. A host of other items as well. Then we'll move to the second hour. It is the fourth Tuesday of a month, although we have a bonus month next week, 5 weeks in June, if you can believe it. But in the fourth Tuesday of the month in the second hour, we have the malfeasance of the barbecue community rejoining me. That is the Embedded Correspondence segment. Everybody loves it. We're getting ready to blow the actual foundations out of a high-end steakhouse chain. An expose will be revealed, months in the making. The due diligence has been put in. The work has been put in. The results have been tracked and will be revealed. And it may just blow your mind on what we have found as it relates to something called the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and I will leave it at that. Closing out the second hour, you know it, I know it, everybody loves it, right? Month 3, where we find ourselves deep in the semifinals of American Idol Barbecue Central Show edition, where 3 remain. 2 will make it to the finals next month. John Solberg from Michigan is in. Returning champion Jeff Rice is in. And your humble host is in. And we will see how the semifinals transpire here this evening. We are ready to sing and sing our hearts out for you, if you can believe it. So look forward to that. Noah Glanville coming up next. Derek Riches after Noah. Embedded Correspondence will kick the second hour, and we will close it down with the American Idol Season 2 semifinals. Month 3, as we are headlong ready to run Season 2 finals in July, my birth month, and what could be better than that? 216-220-0966, or get at me through email, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. Don't forget you can follow me socially. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Snaps at BBQ Central Show for a live video feed. You can go to Facebook and Twitch /BBQ Central Show. On YouTube this week, /BBQ Central Show. I'm sorry, /RD Rempe on YouTube. Let me start here this evening. You know, over the years, many of you have asked about having or me devising some kind of an ad-free option for the podcast feed. And I would love to sit here and tell you that with the rollout of Apple's new subscription service last week, that this is going to be something that will easily be accomplished through one of their offerings. But hell no, it's not easy. And they don't know how to answer emails in any kind of respectable time frame. And there's no videos to guide an idiot like me on how to set it up properly, although I think I'm doing it exactly as they say. So it's not happening through the Apple podcast subscription at the moment. I'm waiting on email replies back to my technical questions. However, I have found something that might be even better and much easier for an option. I'm sure many of you have heard of this site called Patreon. I have created an ad-free feed that you can subscribe to if you want. It's $5 a month. It will be updated each Wednesday and Thursday as the traditional podcast feed is. You will get access to a private RSS feed. Well, it's 2 things. You can listen to the feed on the website or on your app, the Patreon app through your phone, or even better, you can take the RSS feed that is privately generated for paying subscribers, go to your podcast app like Google Podcast or Apple Podcast, and then you can stick that feed into the subscribe by URL portion of your app. I can help you with that if you don't know how to do it. And it will appear right in your favorite podcast platform app as it would under any other normal circumstance except sans the reads. The website, patreon.com/BBQ Central Show, because it's always /BBQ Central Show no matter what I'm talking about. Now, if you're fine with the way it is, good. If you want to try the ad-free version, good. Doesn't bother me at all. Just giving you an option. If it's something you have always wanted to try or get through the show just a little bit quicker, and you don't want to hit the fast-forward button if you do that, this is an option. I might use it for other bonus content stuff in the future. I have nothing planned in that regard, so you're not missing out otherwise. So if you want to give it a shot, it's very minimal investment. Support the show, whatever. By the way, it took me a whole whopping 45 minutes to do all of this on the Patreon page, from beginning creation till end and publish. Apple should take freaking notes. It should not be this hard to do, Apple. Get it together. Again, patreon.com/BBQ Central Show if you want it. Listener feedback from the show. Ed in Kansas writes, Greg, is anyone else enjoying the reading the passages in that horse meat book? I want to believe that you are making this up, but then I see you reading it out of the book itself, which means someone actually wrote this. And I love how you point out the little tidbits of how the writing style was back in the 50s. I can't wait to hear the next passage. By the way, I would not eat a horse. Just putting it out there. All right, we have you on record, Ed, in Kansas. Ryan in Arizona. Greg, I'm a big pizza fan. I really enjoyed the segment with Matt Frampton. I'm going to pick up his new seasonings soon. I've used his dough and sauce for months. It's so easy and really delicious. I don't disagree, Ryan. It's fabulous. Terry in New York. Daniel Vaughn's remark about giving famous Dave his list for best Central Texas sausage was so funny I spit coffee out when I was listening to it last Friday. I hope everyone caught that. By the way, I am not from Texas, but I do appreciate Daniel's point of view on Texas and the industry in general. Good job getting him as a quarterly guest. Thank you. Just a smattering of feedback, in case you were wondering. Corey Gilbert from Ohio says he tried horse tenderloin. He's from Huron, Ohio, by the way. Not too far from me. Let me talk to you quickly about Yoder Smokers before we get over to Noah Glanville. Yoder Smokers designs and builds all of their products in the USA. And building pride through craftsmanship and world-class customer service is the backbone of how they've built their company. This approach translates into what can be a truly bespoke-styled product that elevates gatherings with friends and family. They are honored to have a trusted place in the backyards of America. From pellet grills to wood-fueled offset pits or charcoal grills, consistent blue ribbon flavor has become synonymous with the Yoder Smokers name. Make no mistake, Make no mistake, Yoder Smokers' flavor-driven design is unique to each style of pit, and their team has developed the cookers to perform time and time again while outlasting the competition for generations to come. It's this generational thought that is rooted in their handmade products and defines the integrity of their core values. American-made quality and endless flavors. These are the benchmarks of Yoder Smokers. You can visit them at yodersmokers.com to grab yours today. Once again, that's yodersmokers.com and grab yours today. Pellets, wood-fired offsets, grills, fireplaces, they have it all. I'm looking for Noah Glanville. I don't see him yet, but I'm sure he's racing to the green room because he knows I'm a nervous Nelly. When we come back, we'll have him and we'll talk about Pit Barrel Cook. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 most downloaded barbecue and grilling podcast anywhere. The BBQ Central Show. Broadcasting live from the BBQ Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by the Barbecue Guru, creators of automatic pit temperature control devices, sellers of ceramic cookers with built-in power draft fans and accessories to make your barbecue and grilling life easier. Visit bbqguru.com for more information or call them at 800-288-GURU. The Barbecue Guru continuing to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. My first guest this evening, the co-founder of Pit Barrel Cooker. Pit Barrel is continuing to enjoy success on many levels. Tonight we will learn even more about the business, the cooker, some new things going on as well over the next weeks and months. So let's go ahead and race to the hotline. And welcome back, good friend of the show, Noah Glanville. Hey, Noah.
Hey, Greg, how we doing?
We are doing absolutely fabulous. Let me tell you something. You look great. You sound even better. Oh, my God. I never knew you had such dulcet tones. Sing to me.
Well, that's easy.
No singing? All right.
That's Amber.
Noah, you and the family still are, or I should say, are you still living by the family rule of, quote, no cave cow, unquote, made famous by your sons, Easton and Max?
Yes. We try to avoid cave cow at all expense.
No matter what.
No matter what, but sometimes someone tries to serve you cave cow. It does happen.
Yeah, and everyone, you can spot those cave cows coming to your plate as well. So we warn everybody, keep an eye out for cave cow, especially when you're in those restaurants, right?
Absolutely.
Let's start here. Last year, we talked about pit barrel cooker, and we talked about something that was the acronym PBX, or is that what it was? A bigger version of the biggest current pit barrel.
Yep, the PBX. Right. It has definitely been a topic, and your next question is probably when is it coming out?
Well, since it didn't see light of day last year, perhaps for a various number of reasons that are all legitimate business reasons, is it something that is on the board for 2021?
Absolutely. And, there's just been so many shifts in business, and we could talk for hours about that, but nobody wants to hear about that. But, the biggest things are making sure it comes to the market responsibly, to the consumer ultimately, that we're making all the right decisions, the quality's right, and the timing's right. I would have loved to have had it out years ago, but, this will be a game changer for restaurants, caterers, competition, but just really any events that people want to be able to produce that same amazing pit barrel flavor and food, but on mass level. So it will be out, barring nothing too crazy. We're looking to start receiving the product in end of July, but we should definitely have it available to the consumer in August.
Is it wrong for people to think that because it's not necessarily a technically advanced cooker as far as software and electronics and what you would typically see in, let's say, a pellet cooker, that this is something you just should be able to get to market rapidly?
I think so. It's very similar to the pit barrel cooker, but porcelain coating something, it hasn't been done before, and that's the whole point of wanting to porcelain coat something the right way, and it be done right, and those have been some of the biggest challenges.
Noah Glanville joining us here on the show. Pitbarrelcooker.com is the website as we're addressing the PBX. Also, there was mention of a stainless steel cooker at some point last year. Is that still on the drawing board, or perhaps even closer for a consumer to purchase?
I would say later in 2022, a stainless steel model. We really wanted to complete the family of, to be completely transparent, really complete the family, the Pit Barrel Junior, the PBC, and then the PBX for much larger cook capacity, but nailing that, and then moving on to something that's on the higher end for the people that just want the Cat Daddy cooker and everything else.
I'm going to grab over to my left, and I'm going to oh my God, present something here. Look at this. Now, I don't know if we're getting ahead of the game here, as they say, but I thought maybe we should, whether you agree or not, I thought we should at least begin the hype machine, because this is something, look, it's something that everybody's seen before, but it's different in a way as well. This is a cutting board, a wood cutting board, and it is, I don't know if everybody can see that, end grain, I think is the, let me pull up a bit. Yeah, there we go. End grain is the shot right there. That's who's, I guess, making it. So what can you tell me about this extremely heavy, and, I mean, this juice channel is deep, and it's got a great width to it, something I don't normally see with things that include a juice channel. So how do you get involved with these guys?
So I can tell you everything about it until you tell me to stop. Well, we're super proud of this product. It's made of America's finest hardwoods that we can get our hands on, walnut and maple, locally sourced around the Kentucky area. We manufacture every board right at our facility, and have spent a small fortune to be able to absolutely master and come up with a Rolls Royce of cutting boards at an affordable price. And so, very similar to our model with Pit Barrel Cooker, it's something that you're going to think it'll be one of the greatest purchases you ever made. And you're going to say, I can't believe I spent a fraction of the price on some of the other cookers that are thousands of dollars. So we wanted to create the most unbelievable ultimate cutting board and finally answer the call of, a super wide juice trough. And it's very frustrating to spend hundreds of dollars on a cutting board and then run into the kitchen and grab paper towels and rags to clean up the juice. So you never have to do that with this. There's not another cutting board on the market that is going to be better quality. And, from the pattern to just the entire finish and how you receive it, from the packaging, every touch has been well thought out. The pattern kind of reminded me, I wanted something similar to what just before I got out of the military after deploying to Iraq and got back, the Marine Corps had switched over to digital camis. And so I always loved that look. And I thought I'd love to create a board that had some of that digital cami look, but is still elegant, as you've seen. The equipment that we use is state of the art, and you really need that for precision, which is what it requires to make an end grain cutting board. So has not been easy. It's been a year in the making of planning to bring that product to market. Everything that I wish I had been able to do when we started Pit Barrel Cooker, with the bandwidth and the capital to really be able to do it right and show how we can bring a brand to market that is right by the consumer. And it's killer, as you've seen. I think from every touch to, if someone got it as a gift, it's affordable. And, compared to what other cutting boards on the market are, this is a screaming deal.
Are there multiple sizes, or are you just operating with one?
Yep. There's a large, medium, and small. We call it kind of the first ones. The larger one's a cutting board. We have the carving board. And then the medium's a cutting board, and then the smaller is the charcuterie board. And we kind of identify them that way. The large one is a big, and that's the thing. I've always been a cutting board snob. I always like the biggest cutting board I can get my hands on, and we're usually entertaining. We want to cook as much as we can. So that's 24 by 18 by 2¼ inches. The medium is 18 by 14 by 2 inches, and the small is 16 by 12 by 1.75 inches. So stout, heavy duty. When you get it into your hand, it's like this is a hell of a product, and a lot of care and time. And it's not easy making an end grain cutting board perfect every time, and to do it by the mass volume. So it's pretty cool.
What makes a good cutting board? You mentioned having one of the best ones on the market now with this end grain product. What makes a good wood cutting board?
So starting out with the best grade of product, getting the finest woods, but in the right condition, the right curing time. Then, from the glue up process, using the best glue to put that together. You'll notice with our product, and if you look at other cutting boards, you'll see the seams, and sometimes you can almost stick your fingernail in those seams. This is super fine, and you'll notice it's absolute precision is what's required to make an end grain. And they're self-healing, and you'll see that on different blogs and information. Better on the knives. They don't have the cuts in them like a regular edge grain cutting board would be, which is usually a lot less expensive, and they'll last longer. And this is something that it'll wear like iron. It's something that you will pass down to your children and really have in the family. That absolutely, and an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We have the care products that we've been thoughtful about to come out with, and all that should launch on our website. You're the first to talk about it, so that's cool. All this should be out, barring anything crazy, this Friday. So we're excited, and like you say, I mean, we expect when you get it, people are going to say, "Man, this is exactly what we've been looking for." The juice groove, and we're calling it the juice channel, but that sounds a little bit better.
The juice channel.
The juice channel.
Yeah. Okay.
So you'll see, and the reason we call it the juice channel. So we basically designed, and what's really cool and kind of novel about it is, we're patent pending on basically a juice channel cutting board that when the juice goes into that groove, it channels all to one corner of the board. So across the entire surface, it channels to one corner. We have that spillway. I don't know if you noticed, but if you look at it, the depths start at one depth that's very very shallow, or more shallow, I should say, at the opposite end of the spillway, and it slopes down and carries the juice. So for an easy draining, whether it's the Thanksgiving turkey juice, anything you want to capture, but just easy to clean, it's pretty cool once you use it. I think we've thought of all the functionality, and purposely didn't put feet on it. That is flipping it over, and it's such a nice cutting board that we see this going out. It doesn't belong in the kitchen. It belongs in the center of the table, and something we love to do, and we'll be doing those in our classes, is talking about entertaining and doing a fillet, a ribeye, a tri-tip, a sirloin, New York strip, and cutting all those pieces up, slicing them up, and having something to serve for everybody at the table with the cheeses. That's I think taking entertaining and cooking for people that you love and like to spend time with to the next level.
Obviously, it's something that you're very excited about. From a consumer standpoint, when can we expect to be able to purchase?
Should be this Friday.
Really? End of the week? All right.
Yep.
So we can just visit pitbarrelcooker.com, or is there something we can sign up for that we'll get alerted once it really launches, or what?
So right now, it'll be ingrainusa.com. That's the site to learn all about the boards, why we're the best, and then you can click, and the exclusive site that it's sold on is pitbarrelcooker.com.
Let me ask you this. I drive down the streets of Cleveland regularly, and every other suburb here in the metro Cleveland area, and everyone is hiring. How are you finding labor at the moment?
That's a good question. I think everybody would like to know where they can find labor right now. You're paying everybody a lot, and it also, over the course of 11 years, we've assembled a good team, and some have stayed around, some haven't. I think COVID really unmasked a lot of people, and unfortunately, some people didn't have any choice. But it has not been easy, for sure, and that's also been some reasons why our model, I think, is very consistent, and we can make sure that we bring a good quality product, whether it's pit barrel, end grain, anything else to market, that we're not trying to be everything to everybody. Being direct to the consumer is, you have much better chances of buying a product from a manufacturer direct than you necessarily do going to a big box retail store where the supplier's been absolutely squeezed to death. Shipping prices are absolutely insane, and then the consumer expects to walk in the door and get a quality product. It just, you get what you pay for.
That was going to be a dovetail question into that. Was, when I look at the growth of Pit Barrel over these many number of years, you've made some legitimate moves, like Colorado to Kentucky, Kentucky out to wherever you're at now. The business remains in Louisville. You've weathered lawsuits that, whether people or no, were very big and potentially very threatening to the health of Pit Barrel Cooker. You're dealing with labor. You're dealing with logistical manufacturing situations. You guys have always done it your way. And other companies will get established, but the end game is to get into this big box store that you mentioned, because that's where all of this magic is going to happen. But to date, you stay out of the big box store. Why is that?
I think for our brand specifically right now, it needs to be able to grow legs and walk out the door. So I believe that there's other products that will come out with that are big box friendly, meaning you can, and I just say it, the screw with my money box. Something, when I say big box proof, that means it can withstand people taking earned discounts when they're not earned, the program fees, saying you're going to advertise it when you don't, just on and on and on. The pallet didn't come in the right fashion, and all these discounts that get taken, and it just automatically happens regardless of what you do. So the pit barrel was built in a fashion that was great quality. It's a solid, sturdy product. It's maintained that. If we were going to then take a U-turn and go into a big box retailer, we'd have to make it cheap. We'd have to make it to where it only lasts a few years, and it wouldn't be what it is today. So we'll do that. We will come out with a different product that's coated differently, that will be in a good position to go into larger retail models. And it may only last you a couple of years, but you're not going to spend nearly half on it. And there's a place for that, and it'll still function well. But that's real talk. That's real business, and anyone who's been there knows how that goes.
So is the overarching concept that you will continue to be your best version of Pit Barrel Cooker, going direct to consumer, and people are approaching you and buying? It's not going to be going. You might have toes in the water somewhere else, but the main core of the business will remain as it has.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I understand the question right, Greg, I think we're going to stay in our lane, basically. And our lane is vertical cooking, hanging meat, being the pioneers in that. Similar like what Weber and Traeger and Green Egg are in those categories. You see, the pellet cookers and the different and the different companies just tripping over themselves, trying to come out with a new product that connects to your phone differently and it has a different color or feel to it. And who's asking for that? The big box retailers are. They want something different than the other guy does, and we're going to stay into our lane. There's no reason to change. We've, for a fraction of the price of many other pellet and ceramic cookers, we've created the best outdoor cooking device on the planet, bar none. There's nothing better, and I'm proud to say it, and I'll always say it until something comes out better. But it's pretty tough to beat the Pit Barrel at a $249 price point shipped to your door on the Junior, and $349. And everyone that gets it that has any of those other cookers all says, I use it to keep my charcoal dry. I don't even use those other cookers now. So it's the proof's in the product.
Noah Glanville joining me here on the show. Pitbarrelcooker.com is the website. Engrainusa.com is the website if you want to learn more about the beautiful cutting board that we were talking about a little earlier in the interview. If you're just tuning in, you can go back and get it in podcast tomorrow, or wait for the video to archive and get it that way. And Pit Barrel X or PBX could be out towards the end of summerish, but we're not guaranteeing anything. And then there will be a stainless steel cooker at some point down the road, but certainly we're not seeing it this year, and perhaps not even through the first part of next year. Did I summarize correctly, Noah?
You did.
All right.
Yep. That sounds about right.
All right. And Noah will be staying in his lane as Pit Barrel Cooker is regarded. Get on over to pitbarrelcooker.com. If you don't have one, pick one up. As he said, $349 for the flagship product. He cook you 8 racks of ribs. Not many other cookers are doing that, and it does it with relative ease. And it's really easy to learn. Pitbarrelcooker.com is the website. Noah, always appreciate the time and the years of support and the friendship and putting me up when we were down in Kentucky a few different times. You've always been a stand-up person and somebody that I admire as a human and as a business person and friend. Thank you so much for coming on again tonight.
Thanks a bunch. You're always welcome anytime.
All right, there he is. Noah Glanville from Pit Barrel Cooker. Again, if you don't have one, you're missing out. It's, compared to everything else, as he had mentioned, very affordable and easy to use, and man, does it make great products. By the way, if you just got one and you're trying to figure out what you should cook as the first cook, if I might humbly suggest, and perhaps you've never thought you would have heard me say this before, but I've had it off the Pit Barrel Cooker. Lamb is what you want to try. Rack of lamb. I mean, it is so good that's the first time I ever had it was off a pit barrel cooker. And Noah took the chop and he said, "Stick this in your mouth and it'll change your life." The chop. And I did. And it did. Now we're eating lamb like crazy in this house. I never had it before. All right, that was Noah Glanville from Pit Barrel Cooker. pitbarrelcooker.com, and be on the lookout for PBX soonish. All you people in the chat, when's it coming? When's it coming? Soon. Perhaps by the end of July. Maybe mid Q3. We'll see. Stay on the lookout. We'll be back with Derek Riches here in a second. I'll talk to you quickly about Primo Cookers. The website primogrill.com. A patented oval design offers you true two-zone cooking. More than 60 cooking configurations. Made right here in the States. Precision-controlled manufacturing. Highest quality ceramics that you're going to get in any ceramic cooker currently available. They have updated a few things this year. The new Easy Lift Hinge reduces the lift on the grill head by 70%. You got precision-controlled top and bottom air flowers. They are number coordinated at this point, so you can say open to number 3 or 4. Upgrade kits are available if you're a current owner of Primo. You don't have to sweat it or get a new one. Now, if you want to get a new one because you just want another one, do that. But if you just want to upgrade the one that you have, you can do that as well. You can visit your local dealer and see all the improvements for yourself before you buy. Then you'll be absolutely fascinated and buy at least one Primo cooker, maybe 2. The website's, once again, primogrill.com. Some social media places, Primo Ceramic Grill on Instagram, and Primo Ceramic Grills on Facebook. The website, once more, primogrill.com. And we are back with Derek Riches right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the BBQ Central Show.
And this portion of the show being brought to you by cookinpellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. Visit cookinpellets.com for more information or to purchase. You can also visit amazon.com to purchase as well. Tried to get Chris Becker on the show coming up, and he's like, hey, not enough people, not enough time. You'll have to wait. All right, CB, you take care of the business. I will be here when you're ready. In the meantime, it's the 4th Tuesday of the month, and that means it's time to go ahead and race to the hotline where we welcome back one of the most respected barbecue journalists in the biz, a BBQ Central Show guest Hall of Famer. Check his website out at DerekRiches.com. We welcome back Derek Riches. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
On the heels of your last visit, you may find it intriguing to know that I have booked on July 13th at 10:14 in the second hour, let's just say that. Depending time zones, everybody gets confused. In the second hour of the show, I have booked a segment on July 13th with Joe Clements, who is the founder/creator of the website called The Smoked Barbecue Source, a site I had never heard of until your list, but I am anxious to speak with him and see why he started the website and the associated growth, of course. So in your opinion, because I know what Meathead would say, should I ask Joe to produce Google Analytics?
No.
No.
You shouldn't.
I should not do that. All right. We're not doing that.
Have him turn over his tax records. It's like...
Should I follow with how much is in your bank account? Because I've been known to ask that question as well. That's right. Everybody loves that.
Get a credit card number, do the whole thing. It's
blank check, please.
You know what? Go with the numbers that I published.
All right. Fair enough.
That's what I would say.
Do you know anything about him other than what you dug up in your due diligence to put that list together?
Not personally. He is from New Zealand, and he's now living in Australia now, and I don't get down that way very often. So I haven't met him. I know he's been around for a while. I first found the site maybe 2 years ago. It just kept coming up in search, and I got, okay, who are these guys? Because that's what I do. I do that sort of thing, and just kind of started following it from there. Growth rates have been phenomenal, and it shows up in search a lot. I mean, if you kind of go in and just start doing some barbecue searches, you're going to find that site a lot. So,
well, I'm anxious to have him on here in the next couple weeks or so and see what he
I
has
think that'd be a great interview. I'd look forward to listening to that.
Looking forward to hosting him. So we'll see how it goes. Now, your most recent article, which I think you put out, was it yesterday or the day before?
Something like that.
Barbecue Online, the early years, which for some reason makes us sound incredibly old. However, what's the inspiration for the article? What were you thinking of that says, hey, let's go back and track this portion of barbecue or live fire history?
Well, I've been looking at a lot of new sites and, kind of who's coming up. And then I got really thinking about a lot of the sites that I was using back in the 90s. It does sound old, doesn't it?
Yes.
So
I graduated high school in the 90s, 92.
Yeah, rub it in. So
you look better than me.
Yeah, we can do a competition on that. So I just got looking and what I was really surprised by, was how many of them kind of are still out there and in the format that they were in, unchanged. Some of them, the websites that were created in the mid 90s that were updated till 2000, 2002, and then just kind of slowly petered out but they're still live. And, it just got me really thinking about the forums and the listservs and kind of the spaces where, when I was trying to, really master barbecue and get into stuff in, 93, 94, 95, where I was going to and kind of the conversation. So I just started really digging into this and I was really impressed with kind of how much, how well so much of that still kind of holds up. We have a lot of different cookers now. There's not, page after page of how to build your own smoker and all the modifications you used to kind of have to do in those days for the smokers you could buy because, well, most of them were crap. But, it's true. People were building cheap offset smokers and trying to mass market them into stores. And, the classic problem of the offset smoker, right? It's 350 degrees on this side and 150 degrees on this side. And how do you balance the temperature and, in something that's a thin material and just doesn't have the right airflow. So, they're really in-depth conversations about, the science of barbecue, what smoke actually does to food. All of those issues of, the stall and, the Texas crutch and, a lot of the methodology. But at the same time, these people are writing for a world that thinks of barbecue as burgers and hot dogs. And, that was, even when I started, writing about barbecue in 97, that was all the questions I got. What can I do with a hamburger? Why is my charcoal not light? What my lighter fluid doesn't seem to light my charcoal, and all of those sort of patio kind of charcoal grilling or gas grill problems. And now it's so sophisticated when you say barbecue. I don't think most people have that natural jump to burning chicken on a Sunday afternoon as much as brisket and pulled pork and ribs and all those sort of things.
I never used barbecue as a term in my life until I got my first Weber Smoky Mountain when my cousin, who was a barbecue caterer at the time, but I didn't really know that well, but I just happened to have a chance conversation with him because somebody told me what he did, and I was telling him how I was going to buy a replacement grill for the Kenmore piece of crap that my wife got me that I summarily cooked through the back through in like a year and a half just for overuse, and it was cheaply built. It was like 4 different levels. It was, hypothetically, it looked great, but rubber on the road, it was about a year and a half grill if you used it regularly. So I was going to buy this $1,200 Gen Air stainless steel with the infrared burner in the back. Thing was awesome. It was $1,200. My cousin said, hey, before you do that, have you thought about buying a barbecue pit? And these are all terms all of a sudden I've never heard of. What's that? He started explaining everything to me. Lo and behold, I get a Weber Smoky Mountain. I get a Weber gas grill. I'm less cost with the Gen Air. I have 2 different cookers and 2 different cooking styles. And away I went, found the virtualweberbullet.com, and away we go.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned about barbecue. I never said barbecue in my life other than barbecue sauce. It was just grilling or whatever the protein was going to be on the grill. That's what we were talking about. It was never using the term barbecue, and now it's everywhere. And sometimes people use it what I would consider to be the right way, and sometimes people use it interchangeably with grilling, which I've really relaxed on over the years.
Yeah.
But, I'm endlessly fascinated, as you say, with what it looked like in, so I would say like 2005, 2006, maybe when I got into it, maybe a little bit before with the forums. Because back then, like that was hot technology, especially if you were on a board that had traffic. You could get an answer in minutes. You could apply that. You could save and print sheets of information off. Has that been usurped now? Is YouTube that version at this point, or videos, cooking videos and classes and all that? Is that where we're at compared to the olden days?
Well, I mean, you're right in the fact that the forums were kind of the best place you were going to get information back then. And now it's just, the audience is disseminated. So somebody posts a YouTube video on ribs and there's 500 comments on it and just long conversations, or, I've seen Instagram posts where there's, just a whole conversation going on about how you do this and do that. So it's not as centralized as it was. So you can kind of actually get yourself boxed into a very specific way of thinking about things, because, 20 years ago, they were much broader platforms. So you didn't have, the kind of one-sidedness to it all, or, this is the way it has to be. And anytime someone says, well, you got to do it this way, like 50 people would pounce on that person and say, nope, you got to do it this way. It's completely different. But, that conversation, it was great to just kind of be able to watch them. And they would get pretty mean a lot of times. But, you think about people, because I was getting people writing me, 20 years ago or something like that. It's like, oh, I was on this barbecue forum, I live in Indonesia and I've been reading up on this stuff about barbecue and how do I get this grill where I am? And I'm like, oh, I don't no idea. But, that spread so much. I mean, you're talking about having Joe Clements, a guy from New Zealand who has the second most popular barbecue site in the world, on your show. And, that's almost, inconceivable 20 years ago, because what do people in New Zealand know about American style barbecue? And now everyone has that thing. You have really, really good Texas style barbecue joints in Perth or in Dusseldorf. It's like, well, we made it a global thing. Yeah. And, the internet did a lot for that.
What's the best carne asada marinade?
Well, my favorite carne asada marinade is lime, orange, lemon juice, tequila. And then, I have a recipe on my website. That's the one I always use for it. People can contact me and ask for it or whatever. Cumin, and then like what I do is I take jalapenos and I just grind them up, mash it in, and then just release the whole thing. But
seeds and everything.
Depends on how I feel.
Full jalapenos.
full jalapeno. Sometimes it depends on the audience who's going to be there, who's going to be eating it. Sometimes that'll come out, sometimes it doesn't. Just to get that heat on there, and then getting the right meat.
What do you use?
I use what my favorite is flap meat.
Readily available where you're at?
Hit and miss. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it'll be there, sometimes it won't. Skirt steak after that.
Inside or outside, or does it not matter?
I'm not that picky on that. I mean, I used to always use flank steak because it was so available, but I'm not a big fan of the flank, really. I think it'll get too tough, for me. And I don't think it has the flavor. That's what I like about flap meat. It's very beefy. It has that very, very coarse muscle texture to it. So that's my preferred. And if I see it at the store, then I will actually make carne asada because I found it. It's like, oh, I'm buying this. We're having carne asada now.
Charcoal griller, or are you a non-discriminatory griller?
For that, charcoal, definitely.
Just from a flavor standpoint and a cooking standpoint?
Yeah, well, I mean, I prefer charcoal most of the time. I mean, I have a gas grill, and it gets fired up quite a bit simply because I'm busy or there's something going on or I just want to get something cooked quickly. But, if I'm going to go to making carne asada or something like that, then, it's charcoal's firing up, and that's where I'm going to go. Do you have a favorite brand of charcoal? I'm not that picky. No? Really? I'm not. Kingsford? Yeah, Kingsford sends me a bag of charcoal every year, and they have for a decade. Both. Yeah. Yeah. The latest version of the same version? Yeah, I actually have. It's still sitting in my office because I took it out of the box and I left it in my office. It's the cherry wood briquettes. Yeah. I don't know if they're any good. I think, and then I think Fogo still sends me a bag every year for some reason. But I don't write about charcoal, Would you? No. If people ask me specific details, I need to get this exact charcoal. What's the best charcoal for this application? I send them over to the Naked Whiz website. That's still around? It's still around. They're still testing stuff. Look at that. Yeah, that's like what we were just talking about, the online early years, the Naked Whiz. Yeah. What, like 25 years now? And they're still testing charcoal? And it's complete overkill. It's just like, these guys, take it out, lay out the whole charcoal bag, measure it all out, sort it by size, measure the ash production, the temperature, all that sort of stuff. I don't have that kind of patience to test, probably 500 different charcoals they've done by now. But, if you're that into charcoal, go over there and look them up. It's a fantastic site. Still looks like it did 20 years ago, too. So, yeah, great. It was not that easy to navigate 20 years ago. No. It's still a bit. What was the worst? Let's throw people under the bus at the moment. What was the worst barbecue website? I know what my answer is, but what do you think the worst one was? And we say this, of course, with peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. Oh, I don't. What, worse from a design or just horrible information? Yeah. No, information is what, you're going to get that anywhere. But design-wise, like you landed and you just wanted to gouge your eyeballs out. Oh, there was a lot. I don't, any of those sites that came out of kind of the late 90s and stuff. All right, I'm going to give you the number one answer. You're being coy, but I'll say it for you since you don't want to say it. The information on here, probably second to none. The founder of this website probably should be in the BBQ Hall of Fame. Worst barbecue website ever, barbecueforum.com. The worst setup, incredibly difficult to navigate, and, ruled with an iron. But, God, outside of the rule, it was the worst to look at. It never updated. I think it's still out there, but nobody's posting on it anymore. But holy crap, that was a travesty. It's like the forum software 0.8. Yeah, he refused to go to vBulletin like the rest of the world when that was all unveiling itself, and it was much fresher and easier, great interface, easy to operate. But no, he just stuck with whatever the hell that was, and boy, was it a travesty. Yeah, that was a difficult site. It was
Yes.
a very difficult site. You're right.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's still there, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, my Barbecue Central forum is still around. I just sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
No, I mean, no.
Collecting
like I said,
ad views.
Yeah, and that's fun. That's funny. It's like I found a website. I can't remember which one it was. I think the guy who created it died 15 years ago. The site's still up, and it has ads on it. I mean, it has like Google AdSense ads on. Someone is getting a check for $1.85 a month.
Yes,
for the ads that this site still generates. You know,
that's right.
I mean, it's like, I mean, one of my favorite sites from back in the day was barbecuing on the internet. You know, Smoky Hale. Don't know it.
No.
It was huge. I mean, it was gigantic at the time. Started in '96, continued to be updated till about 2010 or so. Charlie McMurray was the guy who created it. He was like an old oil man guy and got into internet, created this website, and got Smoky Hale to start writing the content. And I met Smoky like twice, but he's like this old he's this old Southern barbecue guy. Used to work for the FBI under J. Edgar Hoover, then moved to Army Intelligence, and then somehow ended up at Vanity Fair, and then was writing a weekly barbecue syndicated newspaper column. And you know, when I first started my barbecue site, if you found a link with the word barbecue in it, it went to that site everywhere. I mean, it was like this site. I figured in no way would I ever pull the kind of traffic that they were getting back in 2000, and, you know, around that range. But I mean, it's still fully intact, still there, and still has ads on it.
Nice.
But I mean, Smokey died about 3 years ago, I think.
Doug Scheiding, Texas embedded correspondent and your latest new best friend, says last post on Barbecue Forum is from 15 days ago, so it's still kind of alive. So there you go. People are still visiting.
That's, well, you know, as I said in my article, you know, before the websites, before the World Wide Web was created, there was the Usenet, and there was the discussion forums in there. It's not dissimilar from the way Reddit runs, but, you know, this is how we used to communicate on the internet back in like the 80s. So now I'm really getting old. There are posts on that from the last month, even though it's almost impossible to get into anymore. I mean, I think half the posts are for mail order brides or
I'm sure
something, but still, it's like, wow, there are people still. Wow, some people never change. It's just, it cannot move on.
That's
I
right.
guess.
We stay, as Noah Glanville said, people stay in their lanes when they're comfortable. So whether you're doing it right or doing it wrong, well, I mean, that's up for discussion, of course. But yeah, I mean, this is what it's all about. If you're interested in the article, go to DerekRiches.com, and the Barbecue Online, the early years is right there at the front. So go ahead and click on that and read through. It's a very interesting read and a good retrace of barbecue history and really how the internet has made Southern style barbecue a worldwide thing. So in the meantime, again, DerekRiches.com, or on the fourth Tuesday of the month, you can wait until the end of July and see Derek right back here on the Barbecue Central Show. Derek, always appreciate the time, and thanks again for the information.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. See you next month.
All right, there he is, Derek Riches right there. Again, DerekRiches.com, and check out the new article, BBQ Online, The Early Years. I was part of those early years, believe it or not. Hey, when we come back, we'll give away a new book from Meat Mitch, Barbecue Revolution. So stay tuned. I will talk to you quickly about Pits and Spits. Since 1983, handcrafting smokers and grills in Houston, Texas. In that time, Pits and Spits establishing itself as one of the premier brands in high-quality offset smokers and more recently pellet cookers. Pits and Spits setting itself apart by using heavy 7 and 10 gauge stainless steel in every cooker, fully welded construction that you can feel when you use the unit, a 304 stainless roll top lid, and front shelf on every single smoker. Does it matter? Yes. Well, by using higher quality materials, Pits and Spits smokers reach and maintain temperatures, allowing you to worry more about the meat than the heat. by providing a fully welded smoker. You don't have to worry about grease or smoke leaking out of the barrel or that grill rattling apart as you move through the yard. And by using 304 stainless, you get an heirloom quality product. Now, where some companies are focused on being a low-cost provider, Pits and Spits focuses on craftsmanship and using quality materials. Cheaper ways to make these? Yes. But Pits and Spits doesn't like tack weld, cheap stainless, electronics that you can't trust. Having in-house manufacturing gives them control of the design and standards, not something you find from stuff brought in from overseas. Their steel suppliers get you material to be used in some of the harshest environments around, so they're going to perform in any and all conditions. And their controllers are made right here in the States, so they have unimpeded transparency into the program. Pits and Spits is a dealer network across the country. If there isn't one close to you, feel free to give Coy a call in the shop, 844-650-6250. Whether you're a backyarder or a competition team, Pits and Spits has a product for you. You can check out all the products at pitsandspits.com, all spelled out, or view their pits in the wild across all social media at Pits and Spits. Again, all spelled out. Your chance to win coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Now's the time where we give stuff away. People give us stuff on the show to give away at no money for you. That's why it's free. Send an email on its way when I tell you to. That's why we give stuff away.
Okay, as promised, your chance to win Barbecue Revolution. Innovative barbecue recipes from an all-star pitmaster. That being Mitch Benjamin, Meat Mitch, Char Bar owner. There's some guest pitmasters in here. High-quality photos. Look here. It's a grilled corn and Dungeness crab dip with jalapeno, baby. If you want this book, which I'm happy to autograph for you, send me an email and in the subject line put WOMP. As many O's as you want. Be the first to send me an email, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and in the subject line put WOMP. And you can win the latest effort by Mitch Benjamin, Barbecue Revolution. Good luck.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, this portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or connect via Bluetooth. And if you have Alexa or the Google Assistant in your home, you're in luck because Fireboard fully integrated with both. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. That's 816-945-2232. Fireboard 2, Fireboard 2 Drive, and Fireboard 2 Pro. Fabulous. All right, that's going to wrap the first hour. We thank Noah Glanville, pitbarrelcooker.com, and then we thank fourth Tuesday of the month regular guest in the first hour, Derek Riches from DerekRiches.com, as he talks about barbecue on the internet, the early years, because now we're in the whatever years, the middle years. Who knows where this technology thing is going? Let's call it that we're in the middle years right now. Hey, we have a winner for the Barbecue Revolution book. It's Dean Simborski. Good job, Dean. Way to be in on it. All you have to do is now send me another email. In the subject line, put book winner, and then in the body of the email, send me your shipping address, and I will get to the post office at some point this week, maybe next week, and I'll ship it right out to you. And if you also include in the body, if you want me to autograph Mitch's book, it's a thing we're doing. All right, let's head to the second hour. We're a little late, but we'll catch up on the other side before we get to the embedded correspondence. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono. It's all about the charbono, dude.
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seed.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Live every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. Being recorded simultaneously for podcast release Wednesday and Thursday. That would be hour number 1 and 2, respectively. Dan in the instant chat writing, true fact, first podcast I ever listened to was the Barbecue Central Show in 2011 or 2012. Look at you, Dan. You're my favorite. Thank you, Dan. Cripes. I forgot to do something. Oh, I'm back on it. Look at that. There it is. The Vortic watch with the exhibition case back. You love it. I'm going to let you look at that side this week. The guts of the watch. Don't forget, you can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and the Snappy Snaps / BBQ Central Show on Facebook and Twitch for video feed / RD Rempe on YouTube for a video feed as well. Also, as I had mentioned in the first hour, you can now get an ad-free podcast feed if you so desire by becoming a patron over at the new Barbecue Central Show Patreon page. And that is Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com / BBQ Central Show. It's $5 a month. Oh, my God. But what does it take? It compresses your listen, I can tell you that. It will be updated Wednesdays. It will also be updated Thursdays with the show. And then also you will get a best of show on Friday. And again, you can get that when you subscribe. You get a custom or private RSS feed that you can then put into your own favorite podcast platform. And then it shows up just like every other normal podcast that you would listen to, except it's ad-free. So if you like that, subscribe to it. If you don't, don't! Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, this Friday, episode 182 from June 25th, 2013, featuring Trace Arnold. Does that name ring a bell? Probably not. But he was on the show as a guest in 2013. We talked about his, if you can believe it, 80-foot offset barbecue and grill trailer. Yeah. Tractor trailer, by the way. He was hauling all over the country that year doing barbecue events. At the time, it was the biggest and longest operational barbecue and grill. It used to be just the longest and biggest operational barbecue, but then he added a grill portion. So it garnered the title biggest, longest operational barbecue and grill. At that point, he was doing a 13-city tour across the country, visiting various festivals and slinging barbecue to the masses. Trace also owned Three Stacks Barbecue and Tap House in Frisco, Texas. That has since changed hands. It's now owned by someone else completely different and under a different name, although it is still a barbecue joint. As you will hear Friday, Trace, a great guest, and brought a lot of personality to the segment, as you will hear in this best of episode, and I know you'll enjoy it. Don't forget, you can email John Solberg if you would like to hear a past guest or segment, and he can make it a best of all for you. JON at thebbqcentralshow.com. And then there's this. Uh-oh. I want to get away and get off of this, but you people won't let me. It's growing into the bit that just keeps on giving and giving and giving for 3 weeks in a row. Over the past week, I received a number of these emails. Greg, 2 weeks in a row, you spend time getting into a one-sided conversation with yourself about famous Dave Anderson and how he posted the Hall of Fame results early. Maybe you should spend as much time over the next few weeks telling everyone what famous Dave has accomplished and done for the industry. That would be the fair thing to do, since he hasn't, since he doesn't appear to be able to defend himself on your show in person. Get over it already. You get over it.
Get that big stuff out of here.
To all of you that took the time to write me versions of this email, and there were at least 5 different versions of this email saying the same thing, I say this to you with peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Mind your own business. This doesn't concern you. And if you don't like hearing me go on and on and on about it, hit the fast forward button for the next few minutes and get past. You get over it. I don't have to get over anything. And I can get as much mileage off of this as I want, especially if I keep getting emails telling me that I'm wrong. I'm not wrong here. I was wronged here. But I am not wrong. I respect what semi-famous Dave Anderson has accomplished in his career. I respect that semi-famous Dave Anderson broke his stick in a bad barbecue show on the Food Network and didn't quit. I respect the fact that semi-famous Dave was able to put together a successful barbecue franchise model and sell it, which has spawned, by the way, some of the most inconsistent barbecue from location to location across the nation. All things I respect. What I don't respect is the sheer willingness to not hold anybody accountable for anything anymore. And this goes over and above semi-famous Dave Anderson. If I opened this mic up and just spilled all the things I know about people in this industry right now, your head would blow the fuck off, and I'm not kidding.
Get that big stuff out of here.
There is no question in my mind that the very foundations of this industry would crack should you hear all the things I know about various folks in the industry. But I am not in a race to be a douchebag. So I don't blab my mouth or disregard instructions given to me by people who are asking me to do something or not do something. Is it unreasonable to think that exhibiting and practicing this type of behavior is too much to ask? I don't think so. As I mentioned last week, had even one other person made a similar post around the same time or earlier, I would have marked it up to the BBQ Hall of Fame, not doing a good enough job broadcasting the secrecy of the info and the proper time frame to sit on those info bits before posting and promoting. But I can't hold them at fault because no one else besides semi-famous Dave made that mistake. No one else. He did it. Him alone. Do I hate semi-famous Dave Anderson? No. Do I hate the fact that he ripped my exclusive announcement from me because he or someone in his camp refused to fully read and understand the email that was sent to him and the associated instructions on how to act with said information? Yes. And if you were in my position, you would be pissed too. Now, stop writing me these emails so we can move on. I say this with peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Stop sending me emails about what a dick I am to famous Dave. Sorry, semi-famous Dave. Because then I can get off of it. But if you're not going to get off of it, I'm sure as hell not getting off of it. And I'm warning you with peace and love.
I'm warning you with peace and love.
That's going to be it. Why do I see two Dougs? That's bizarre. I see a Rusty. Doug, wave your hand. There's no Dougs. Rusty, wave your hand. Yeah, all right. Well, this is looking like it's already going to be some kind of a disaster. Well, we'll just hold our breath and pray that something good comes out of this. What's really going to be good... Wait. Oh, crap. That's number one. I got to send John a new link. John. Solberg. Use this. Doing a little house cleaning here. I'll edit that out in post. Don't you worry your pretty little heads over it. Let me talk to you quickly about my good pal Sterling Ball over at Big Papa Smokers. The one-stop online shop for all things barbecue, a curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies. Get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything is approved by Sterling himself. 13 perfectly balanced rubs and seasonings. Popular flavors like Sweet Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, all proven winners on the circuit and in backyards. I use them all the time. What more do you need? Also, Granny's barbecue sauce. Looking for a new go-to sauce? Tired of everything else that's on the market? Sure you are. Christ. How is this happening? This is my fault. It's got to be my fault. Hold on. Jeff Rice. Ugh. Ricer? Yes. All right. Jeff, if you're listening, try the link I just sent you. All right, John is in. This has got to work. Fingers crossed. Where was I? Granny's barbecue sauce. Right, get that. Great by itself. Great as a base sauce as well. You can tweak it if you want. They're selling cookers. You knew it. Mac 2-Star General Pellet Cooker. Big Papa is the exclusive Mac dealer, even offering special packages. Not a fan of pellet smokers? Try the old Hickory Ace BP. The only charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. If you're not sure of what grill you need, call them. Ask questions, 877-828-0727, or shop their website at bigpapasmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA smokers.com. Maybe we're back with... Well, I know I have 3 of the embedded correspondents, the traditionals. I'm waiting for the champion of American Idol Barbecue Central Show Season 1 to show up, but we will make do. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker, the most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet, as Noah said last hour. Currently available in 2 sizes with a host of accessories. Whether you're a beginner or a professional, definitely a cooker you want to add to the arsenal, visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the Barbecue Central Show sent you. PBX should be out towards the end of summer. Dean, that won the book winner, says, Greg, could you please sign the free book as to keep in tradition and to continually add value to the book? Yes, I will. You know it, Dean. Get ready for a one-of-a-kind Greg Rempe signature on a book that I didn't write. I am happy to do that. We're still waiting for Jeff Rice to get in. But it is the 4th Tuesday of the month in the second hour, and you know what that means. There is a visit from the embedded correspondents. There they are. Look at them. All right there. Hey, gang. Happy to see everybody here. And I'm wondering. Let's do this real quick. Doug, can you give me a sound check real quick?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Sounds good. John, how about you?
Congratulations, my friend Barbecue Dean, on winning that signed book from you.
No doubt. And Rusty?
I want a signed book from you.
You got to be ready to win, Rusty. Come on.
I was ready.
You know the rules. Sorry. You just didn't.
You
weren't quick enough.
I guess not.
Next time, got to have quick fingers. You can't put anything else. As I've always told people who want to win stuff on the show, when I say send me an email, just fill out the bits that I tell you, like only subject line, some people like to put hi or pick me. You're taking valuable time. People have already hit the send button. So just a reminder, when we do those quick games, just fill out exactly what I tell you to and then hit send very quickly, because then that gives you the greatest chance of winning. We're waiting for Jeff Rice, and I'm going to suggest, Jeff, if you're listening, you need to do a full shutdown reboot from cold and come back in if it's not working, because everybody else is in. And here we are this evening. We got Doug Scheiding right there, and John's right there, and there's Rusty. It's opposite when you're looking at the confidence monitor across the way. So we welcome everybody in. Boys, 3/4 of us on this panel are getting ready to shake the very foundations of a very well-known, mostly very well-liked, high-end steak joint called Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Now, let me give a little background here before we start diving into this and pretty much dynamiting what Ruth's Chris stands for. For as long as I've ever gone, and I think that was the very first high-end steakhouse I'd ever been to in 2001. I was at the Mid-American Truck Show in Louisville, Kentucky, and our big night out with customers was going to the Ruth's Chris just outside of where the exposition center was there, and that's where I got my first taste of Ruth's Chris. And they went on during the ordering process that our steaks are served on 500-degree plates and blah, blah, blah. And the idea, of course, is they want the last bite of steak to be just as hot as the first bite, and this is why they're putting steak on 500-degree plates, because common thought would be that the plate will remain hot, at least through the balance of your eating the steak. So your last bite will have some kind of a temperature to it, perhaps not as hot as the first bite, but whatever. And then it had been a number of years since I had been to a Ruth's Chris. And then recently, through this volleyball season, I had occasion to visit one in St. Louis, Missouri. And then for this particular test, I also visited one in Columbus, Ohio. So outside of my general area, because the one here in Cleveland has went out of business. It's not downtown anymore. It's gone. So I had to go outside of town, which I'm happy to do because volleyball takes me everywhere, and that's the only time I travel. And we reached out to the embedded correspondents and said, hey, if you are around a Ruth's Chris, I want you to go. And if you have a pistol infrared thermometer, let's put it to the test. Before I go any further, Rusty, as you go to your Ruth's Chris, do they make specific reference to the 500-degree plate?
Yeah, it's all part of the spill that they cook it to 1,500 degrees or something like that, and the plate's at 500, or they cook at 1,500. It's 1,500?
18.
And then it's 500, 18, yeah, you're right. And then the plate is at 500 degrees to keep the steak warm for your entire meal.
Mm-hmm. Doug, similar wrap that you got at your Ruth's Chris?
No, we sat at the bar, so maybe the bartender was worried about other drinks. So yeah. So
have you heard that before, though?
Yeah, I have.
All right. Doug, as you go into it, do you think that there's any way that these plates are literally going to be 500 degrees as they hit whatever's in front of you?
No. And kind of based on what I was told during the process, the answer would still be no.
And you're like one of the smartest people we know here collectively. I mean, you're like a rocket scientist, so you know how thermodynamics work and heat dissipation and all these other things. Rusty, were you skeptical hearing 500 degree, or is that one of those magical things like me when I was much younger in 2001 going, 500 degrees? Wow, I hope I don't touch it. But I believed everything they said.
It's like quicksand. We thought it'd be a bigger problem now, than it actually turned out to be. Working in the restaurant business, I knew that there was no way getting to my plate that it would get that way, because it's got to sit in the pass. They obviously have the plate sitting under heat, and then they'll take it down, they'll put the steak on it, they'll hand it through the pass, it'll go onto a tray which will wait for sides and other things when an expediter will have it sitting there, and then who knows when that tray will get ran. So I didn't expect it to be that when I got there. In fact, the temperature I got, I was more expecting.
By the way, guys, Willie Foo Foo 92 thinks that this is a recording. Sir, this is live.
We'll do it live.
We do it live. Willie Foo Foo.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Son of a bitch. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the findings here. John, there was still no like Roost Chris anywhere near you, right? One didn't pop up magically in a month?
No, not within 65 miles.
Yes, all right. So totally understandable that you're not going to make the drive for that. Rusty, don't forget to send me the receipt so I can reimburse you for your steak, because that was part of the thing that I would reimburse you for a strip steak. And that's it. No drinks or other guests that you take, but I will take your strip steak receipt and reimburse you for that because of the time and effort that you've put in here. So let's go ahead to Doug. I have pictures that I will show here. And let's go to your, you actually took an internal temperature of your steak too, didn't you?
I did.
Oh,
When I sat down and I ordered, I said, she asked me how I wanted my steak done. I said, well, you're asking, I want it to 134. I said, precisely. and I said, is that going to be a problem? She goes, oh, no, that's not a problem. Huh. I'm like, okay. And I said, I'm also going to temp. I'm going to temp the steak and I'm going to temp the plate when it comes to me. So full disclosure, tell the chef, tell anyone you want to tell.
Yes.
That's what's going on here. I'm that guy.
Nobody had any problems with that? Did you build an audience as it was delivered?
No, I said, do they have thermopins back there? Oh yeah, they've got thermopin, the thermometers back there. I said, no problem. Okay. Comes out and they put it in front of me and I temp it immediately. And the IR gun on the plate, I temped the plate first, 348 degrees.
There it is. Right there. 348 degrees. Wow.
And notice we had onion rings that I paid for as well. But anyway, so 348 degrees. and so then I went and temped the steak. So the first temp on the steak was 155 degrees Fahrenheit. And so then I'm like looking around and I showed the bartender. And so I think my next one was what, 179. I think that I sent that one to you. That's the 10. Yeah, there you go. Wow. Nice. And so then the bartender starts. Yes, go ahead.
I said that steak is beat. There it is, overcooked steak.
Beat.
Right
there you go. It's totally overcooked. And the manager was watching me during this whole process. And I said, don't worry about it. I said, how as a corporation do you not have a training policy to cook steaks properly? I said, because we went through this a year or so ago. And remember, we had like 2 like raw steaks that were served at like 80 or 90 degrees on these, 500. She goes, oh no, they are maintained at 500 degrees in an oven. And then we pull them from the oven and put the steak on there. Like Rusty says, they're probably under a salamander or something, and depending on the sides and stuff like that. So she said, I'll get you another steak. And I said, okay. I said, but do not put it on a hot steak. Put it on a lukewarm steak and let's see what it comes out at. Came out at 132, went up to about 135. I said, there you go. You need a corporate training policy based on the steak and the thickness of the steak to get the temperature right.
All right. Well, that is insane. 348 degrees on Doug's plate, by the way, if you lost track of that. Now we'll go over to Rusty. Let me get back into my pictures folder here. Sorry. And let's see. So you have one picture. And what did you come to find out, Rusty?
Well, it was, 284? Something like that?
244, according to this picture.
There you go. Yeah, and I didn't temper it because I don't know if you guys know about these IR guns. Doug actually did it right. You're supposed to point it straight down. If you do it to the side, you don't get an accurate temp. So pro tip. But so I wasn't like Doug. I wasn't telling anyone. Growing up, going to Sizzler was fancy. So my wife was like, why are you wearing that shirt? This is a fancy restaurant. And I got tripped out. So I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm going to tempt this, So I was like, oh, shit. Okay, she's leaving. Like, I can tempt this now. And I was all inconspicuous. So I got a couple, but I kept on taking ones. I was like I said, I was nervous. So I was pointing at my steak more than I needed. But 244 was the average temperature. And from 500 to 244, a lot of stuff would have to happen in between there to have that actually happen, because Doug's was much hotter. So, but then again, bars tend to be closer to the kitchen, so that could be affecting, something. So, but yeah, it wasn't that hot. It was a great steak though. That's fantastic. I love Ruth's Chris. I'll go anytime. Anytime you want. Let's do this next week. Let's do this next time. Let's do another Ruth's Chris one. I'll go.
Yes,
Down.
of course. Well, we got to do something that's going to include John. Now, let me go ahead and give you my findings here, because not only did I get to visit Columbus for this test, I also had 3 additional tasters. So we had a example of 4 different plates. So this is, let me get over to the page. So this is my wife's first shot at 307, and then another portion of the plate at 202, so well below 500. This is my oldest daughter Bobby's 225 on the plate, and a 296 in another portion of the plate. Then we went to my steak. This was by far the lowest temperatures of the evening, 159 on my plate, and a 197 was the highest reading that I got on the plate. And then youngest daughter Marley, she had the high water mark of the evening at there was 307 there, but 325, so 175 degrees off of 500, and that's what I have. So what I think we've come up with is this: saying 500 degrees makes it sound a bit fancier, a bit more formal. If you're into eating hot steak all the way through your dining experience, the plate, whether it's at 500 degrees or not, is going to provide you the potential of having that last warm bite of steak, if that's something that you desire. But it's also a cooking source. And if you have a 130-degree steak pulled off the grill and slammed onto that plate, over time, that steak's going to be 10 degrees hotter, maybe more. I tell my girls, flip the steak. Constantly flip the steak if you're not eating it, so no heat momentum builds up, and you can keep a nice bumper-to-bumper color. So I think we have blown the doors off of the 500-degree plate. Nothing's hitting the table at 500 degrees. John, do you think that if a plate was literally 500 degrees hitting a tablecloth, there might be a chance of fire?
Well, the ignition point of paper, I believe, is around 480 degrees Fahrenheit. And I don't know that exact. What the book was, it Fahrenheit 451, the great novel. So yeah, I mean, the paper's going to burn. But it's less than 500 degrees to ignite paper. I don't understand if it has to be direct flame or conduction heat to do that. But yeah, there'd be burned stuff all over that restaurant in my brain at that temperature.
Doug, should our expose force Ruth's Chris to stop mentioning this 500 degree altogether?
Yeah, I mean, when you get a hot plate, and they say don't touch it, what do? It's a moth to the flame. It'd be like, McDonald's and all the coffee issue and stuff. If someone touches a 500-degree plate, they're getting burnt fingers.
Rusty, should we have Ruth's Chris eliminate the 500 gimmick?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if it's always consistently that way, why continue doing it? If it's false narrative, I get that you want to have a story and that connects people to your restaurant, but it's got to be a true story.
John, did you have something to finish up with before we move on?
I just want to say to Doug, at 344 degrees and 244 degrees, people are still burning their fingers. So when Doug said people are going to, you know what I mean? The plate's still hot. You're still going to burn yourself. It's just not 500 degrees hot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So Ruth's Chris, pay attention. We are coming for you, and you better beware. We're going to have you change your procedures and so forth. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, it needs a corporate training program because it's also going to depend on the thickness. So the temperature of the plate should depend on the thickness of the steak.
All right, there you go. So, guys, you stand by just for a second. I'll do a quick piece of business, and then we'll get to the singing. Jeff Rice is having incredible technical issues, which I don't think he's going to be able to recover from, but we're still going to play his song, no matter what. I'll talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grill, some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market right now. You have 2 different lines to choose from, a Choice line and a Prime Plus line. The Prime Plus, more of a robust build. You have a front shelf. You have headlights in the cooking chamber so you can see in the middle of dark if that's your desire. You have Wi-Fi capability. You can control the grill from start to finish right there on your smartphone app. And everything in between. 2 internal meat probes, peek-in windows on the main cooking chamber, and the pellet hopper. So you're never going to run out of pellets, or at least you can see if you're going to run out, and then remedy that situation. If you don't need all the tech and all that other stuff, you get the choice line. It's still the same size cookers on the Jim Bowie and the Daniel Boone. However, you're saving some bucks because you don't have all that extra tech gear that is on the Prime Plus. Pick for yourself. They're selling through dealers. Go to greenmountaingrill.com, find a dealer near you. Visit the dealer, have them educate you, and then you pick which one you like the best. And if you're getting the Jim Bowie or the Daniel Boone, make sure you get the pizza oven insert because everybody loves high-heat pizza. The Neo Pies. Everybody loves a Neo Pie. GreenMountainGrill.com. That's GreenMountainGrill.com. Hope to have Jason Baker on here soon as we get into that time frame of potentially getting some kind of a decision through that lawsuit that they have ongoing with Traeger. So as things become more defined and more available of information passing along, we'll do that here on the show. GreenMountainGrill.com, and we're back with BBQ Central Show Idol Season 2. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Celebrating over 10 years of prolific and unparalleled live fire barbecue and grilling talk. And yes, it's still being done from Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show.
Welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield through the grilling season. Go to smithfield.com for tips and tricks from Chris Lilly, Darren Worth, Ernest Cervantes, and Giles Cridlin. You can get mouth-watering flavor and no artificial ingredients. Smithfield fresh pork, quite simply. Some of the finest pork money can buy, and a trusted choice of World Championship pitmasters for use in competitions and at home. Go to smokinwithsmithfield.com if you're a committed cook and you finish first in ribs or shoulders. They want to know about it. Smokinwithsmithfield.com or smithfield.com for recipes and tips from World Champ pitmasters. Oh, dear. Well, I know what that means. These ladies are in the house. Look at that. The judges are in. There's Bobby with a cat. There's Willis in the middle. Maddie over there on the right. Ready to judge harshly, as always. But honestly and fairly. All right, harshly. We're ready to go. Now, we have no Jeff Rice, believe it or not. For whatever reason, he has not been able to connect in. I've told him to use different web browsers, restart computers. He's done that. He's been text messaging me. And I have no update other than maybe try Safari. That was 7 minutes ago, and we have nothing. That doesn't mean anything. This is a competition, boys. This is why we do stuff pre-recorded, right? That's right, because we know what we're doing. We're accounting for the human error and the technical error here in this live production. All right, before we get to that, let's go ahead and fire up the mics. The ladies here, make sure that we can hear everybody.
Hello. Hi.
All right.
Hello.
Let me
Can
see
you hear me?
everybody.
Hello.
I can hear everybody. Bobby, can you say something?
Can you hear my cat?
Right. Yes, we can.
Wait, you can hear me?
So,
Can you hear him?
The cat.
here we are, ladies.
I can't hear myself.
I can hear myself.
I can hear Bobby. I can't hear me. Now I
now
hear
I can.
myself.
All right.
Very loud, very loud.
Thank you. King of the castle.
King of the castle.
King of
All
the
right,
castle.
ladies, put a pipe in it.
No.
Here we go. We're month 3.
What's
Here we
your-
are, month 3. This is the semifinals. Marley, let's start with you. What are you most looking forward to this month with John and Jeff and myself being the only ones left? And talk on that microphone. Let's go.
I want to see if I don't know.
Go on.
Wow. A master of the English language. Maddie, what are you looking forward to the most in month 3? It's the semifinal.
I want to. I can't hear myself.
I can hear you, so talk.
Okay. I really want to see you guys push your limits. I want to hear some fun songs that we wouldn't expect you to pick. Maybe a song that we know and you're putting your own twist on it. That would be fun. I want to be surprised.
This light needs to go.
All right, Bobby.
I'm seeing myself and it looked bad.
Go ahead. Turn it off. No. Turn it off.
I don't know how.
There's a switch right there.
Oh. Thank you.
I
want my socks to be blown off. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I want to be wowed.
Wowed. All right. Here we go. Guys, hearing that, Doug is also a guest judge. Rusty, the most recent entrance into the guest judging. Rusty, what are you looking forward to in the semifinals?
Dad. Marley didn't go.
Wait, hold on, Rusty. I had you on mute. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm back?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to hear singing. That's what I want to hear in a singing competition. I also don't care much about the song, really, because it doesn't matter if you know it or not. It doesn't really matter because it's a singing competition, and how well they sing it should matter. That's all I have to say about it.
Doug, what are you looking forward to in the semifinals?
I'm looking for great production, and I doesn't need to be a song. Banana and Blow was okay last time, but sing what you want, and it'll be something unique. So I'm good with whatever. But Utah Jazz, they lost, right? Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Doug.
All right. Well, we're certainly not talking about any of that here this evening, so don't worry about that. No basketball talk. Hey, look who made it. There's Jeff Rice right there. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Are you on mic tonight, or you just sitting in, looking good there, or anything?
Just sitting in. I don't know
Just
if you can hear
sitting
me or not.
Oh, I can. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I can.
All right.
Good. All right. Well.
All right. So at least you can hear me, but whatever. I can't get it over onto my other camera, so
That's
I'll
all right.
sit here like this.
Don't worry about it. There's Jeff right there. So we are ready to go for the semifinals, as we always do. We will go to the judges so they can pick the first participant. Marley, since you didn't seem to have a thought on what you were really most looking forward to here in the semifinals, we'll let you pick who goes first. We have Jeff Rice, who is the defending champion. We have John Solberg, Michigan embedded correspondent, and me, your daddy.
King of the gas.
John.
All right, so let's go to John here. John, tell us the song you picked and why it inspired you to try here in the semifinals.
I picked a song that I felt that I could sing, and the song is very special to me. It is a very emotional song for me. It's the story of a Air National Guard pilot whose job is to fly home the remains of his fallen brothers. But it's something that I felt that I could do, and it's important to me. And it's something I wanted to do, so that's why I chose this song.
All right. By the way, before we get to John's song, I want to go ahead and thank it's like a progress of sorts as we get through this competition here in season 2. But I was able to contract the help of none other than the official sound engineer of the show, Haniel Trisna. You can find him over on Facebook, who is a mix master by profession. He does recording, he does live sound. Like, he is a legitimate live sound person. And we all had the opportunity, a little late, to forward our raw tracks and our music beds, and he would put them together with the expert touch. And Jeff and I took advantage of that. John decided that he is going to go full on his own, mixing his own, singing his own. He didn't do the backing track, but everything else is John's heart and soul here. It's all him. So without any further ado, we will go to John's song right here. Stand by.
Andrews Tower, good morning. Angel Flight Bravo 02, ready for takeoff.
Angel Flight Bravo 02, you are number 1 for takeoff, runway 25. Get them home, boys.
All I ever wanted to do was fly. Leave this world and live in the sky. I lift a C-130 out of Fort Worth town. I go up some days, I don't wanna come down. Well, I fly that plane called the Angel Flight. Come on, brother, you're with me tonight. Between heaven and earth, you're never alone. On the Angel Flight, come on, brother, I am taking you home. I love my family and I love this land. But tonight this flight's for another man. We do what we do 'cause we heard the call. Some gave a little, but he gave it all. I fly that plane called the Angel Flight. Come on, brother, you're with me tonight. Between heaven and earth, you're never alone. On the Angel Flight, come on, brother, I am taking you home. Come on, brother, I am taking you home.
Carson Tower, Angel Flight, Bravo 02, you're down 5 miles.
Angel Flight Bravo 02, your number 1 for landing. Welcome all.
Wowee. What a song. John, let's go to you first. Typically we go back for a reaction here, but I'm not familiar with that song. Was that a military song, or is that something that was on the radio?
That is a songwriter, Radney Foster, like Rodney built with an A, Radney. And he's a singer-songwriter from the Fort Worth area. You probably have heard a lot of his songs done by other artists. It's a 2009 song, so it's been around a while, but it's just something I stumbled upon years ago, and as an Air Force veteran. And the song, it moves me. So it was hard to sing, but I wanted to sing it, and I'm glad that I was able to actually sing it, because the song makes me cry. So I'm just glad I could hopefully do it some kind of justice.
Absolutely done very well. A lot of people in the instant chat saying how deep the song was. A lot of people saying they have goosebumps, so well executed. Let's go to the judges here in studio. Maddie, your thoughts first? Hold on. Got everybody muted. Go ahead, Matt.
I thought it was very good. You sang it well. It was a good performance. Good song choice. Very meaningful. I liked it. Good job.
Willis.
I was a bit iffy at first with it, but then it got a lot better as it was going on. And I think with your voice being so deep, it also fit the song well. So, good job.
And Bobby.
I agree. I think that the song complimented your voice and it sounded really good, and I think you did like a good job of singing it.
Rave reviews here from the ladies in studio. Let's go to our celebrity judges. Doug, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a heavy song. It reminded me of my father and his tour in Vietnam. And John, I thought you did a great job on the production and the tower, bringing him in, etc. So next time, just go full Johnny Cash.
Rusty.
That was fantastic, man. Like the emotion was there. Like it really gave me goosebumps too listening to it. It's like, I'm not crying, you're crying. You nailed it. Perfect for your voice. The song was fantastic. I think that if you don't win this one, and I haven't heard Greg's yet or Jeff's, but if you don't win this one, there's something wrong with all those folks listening right now. That was probably the best yet.
And
ever, out of everything.
America is going to vote here. So once we close up shop here this evening, voting is open from at the end of the show all the way until midnight for this coming Monday, and then we will have the person that is getting voted off on top of the second hour next Tuesday. So we will go back to the ladies here. Don't forget, the next two songs that you hear will have been master mixed by a good friend of the show and official sound guy, Haniel Trisna. If you're looking for a sound guy to do any type of mixing, mastering, this is what he does, hit me up, Greg, at thebbqcentralshow.com, and I will put you in contact with him because he is the man. Robert, who would you like to have go next?
You.
Returning. All right. So that's going to be me. I have picked the song Fire Woman by The Cult because I use this song all the time on Instagram, pretty much on everything on my stories. I also somehow have assimilated it to being extra meaningful to the live fire community, although that is solely my thought and there's no substance behind that other than I think that is. So I said, hey, I use this song a lot. I'm gonna sing it. And then I sang it and I thought, man, this could be a really bad idea. And it took a number of efforts, but I was able to get my portion of it over to Haniel, and he returned back a file that I am now going to play for you. Ladies, any thoughts here before we
Can you hear me?
get going? Yes, I can hear you.
Can you turn me off?
Yes. Can I turn you off?
I keep hearing myself.
What does that mean, you can hear yourself?
You're the king of the castle. Turn the microphone off, please.
All right. You're off. Wow, we're going to have to rethink judges for season 3, guys. Here we go. My rendition of Fire Woman.
Shake, shake, shake it, come on. Wound up, can't sleep, can't do anything right, little honey. Since I put my eyes on you, hey, I tell you the truth now. Twisting like a flame in a slow dance, baby. You're driving me crazy. Come on, little honey. Come on now. Fire. Smoke is rising. Fire. Yeah, smoke on the horizon. Fire. Smoke is rising. Fire. Oh, smokestack lightning. Smokestack lightning. Well now, shake it up. You're to blame. Got me swaying, little honey. My heart's a ball of a burning flame. Oh yes, it is now. Prancing like a cat on a high tin shack. Lord have mercy, come on, little sister. Come on and shake it. Fire. Smoke is rising. Fire. Oh, smoke on the horizon. Fire. Smoke is rising. Fire. Oh, smokestack lightning. Smokestack lightning. Oh yeah, Barbecue Central Show, American Idol Season 2, and I'm coming to win this mother.
All right. My effort on Fire Woman. Let's go ahead and unmute the ladies here and fire up the heat. Maddie, your thoughts?
I thought it was... I can't hear myself. Is my mic on?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought it was really good. You could really hear the effort, the emotion, the passion in your voice.
The fire.
Yes, the fire, if you will. If you will. Haha. But yeah, I definitely thought it was very good. One of your best so far. So good job.
Robert?
I definitely think it was probably the best song of both seasons. You hit all those high notes very well, and I think it was risky, but it was good. You nailed it.
Oh, all right. Willis?
I also think that it was one of your best performances.
There you go.
Both of the seasons. And I really did like the ending. I thought it was the fun little twist at the end. And I think your voice went really well with it.
All right, thank you. Now let's go to the celebrity judges in the house. Doug, you're first.
That rivals Ricer's first round song as being the best song of the year. Now, you didn't take your own advice from the standpoint of it was a little long, so but that might go against you. But otherwise, it was fantastic, great energy. I loved it.
Rusty, your thoughts?
You know that guy we grew up with, Greg, that was into metal but wore Jordache shorts? That's what it reminded me. You know what I'm saying? And he grew up and he's like, I can sing in karaoke. I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to sing the Cult. You know, that's what it reminded me of. But that said, that was your best performance, period. It was really good. In fact, it was so good, I forgot that it was you for a minute. So
Really?
Yeah, honestly, it was really great.
All right.
Really
Well,
great.
then we have to give thanks and praise to Haniel Trisna, official sound guy, who mastered this song. So whatever subtle hand that he did that obviously I can't do in a production style setting, we thank him. All right, so that leaves this guy, returning champ, Jeff Rice. Jeff, tell us about your song and why you sang it.
Well, after a complete debacle of a week last week, and then complete debacle on the first song that I picked, I had to pick a song that I was familiar with so I could get it done. And I picked Seven Nation Army by White Stripes.
Oh, wow.
And that's really all I can tell you. And I really wish I had your high vocal range, buddy. I really do.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Jeff, interpretation of Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes.
I'm gonna fight them all. A Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the message coming through my eyes says leave it alone. Don't wanna hear about it. Every single one's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it. From the Queen of England to the hounds of hell. And if I catch you coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. And that ain't what you want to hear, but that's what I'll do. And the feeling coming through my bones says find a home.
All right, Jeff Rice with Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. We'll unmute everybody here and go to the in-house judging first. Robert, your thoughts on Jeff Rice, returning champion and defending champion, of Season 1's Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. You familiar with that song?
Yes,
All
I know
What
that
do you
song.
think? What do you think?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good song. I liked the song to begin with. I think you did really good singing it. The pitch was clean and it just went really well.
Willis.
I think it was a little easy for you, but I thought you did well on it. So, and
You think he's trying to coast into the finals?
I mean, yeah, because he's a returning champion and he wants to, like, maybe he thinks just because he was a champion, he'll be back in it again.
Nice.
He played it easy.
Right, bringing it strong. Maddie, your thoughts?
Okay, good.
I knew the song to begin with. I like that song. I just think that it was missing a little bit just because of the higher parts of the song, but that is out of your vocal range, so I can't really hold that against you. But, you know, keep that in mind for your next song. If it's not going to fit, maybe don't go with it. It was good. Not my favorite of the night, but it was good.
All right, let's go to the guest judges. Rusty.
Well, I love that song. That used to be my band's warm-up song at shows because that was my bass warm-up band, song, and then everyone's like, play it, and we just play it. So we just started playing it. Great song. I couldn't sing it. I could just play bass on it. So you did a fantastic job with that, but it was a great departure from the normal stuff you did, Jeff. Like the first one was, and that freaking that second song was so great. And so I think that it was too, like, kind of, I think your great strength is like that, what you've been doing this season. So that's the only nick, but it was a great song and you did a good job singing it. A good cover.
Doug, your thoughts?
I thought it was a good song, and Jeff, you've shown the most variety throughout the season this time. I actually thought there was some great production value because I think some things were stretched out and compressed from a timing standpoint. But overall, good job.
No doubt about it, and we thank once again the mix master of the show, Haniel Tristna, for doing mine, and Jeff's track doing the mastering there. I think that's the correct term. And as Paul Nicholson said, holy cow, 3 awesome performances. I couldn't agree more. Jeff, let's go ahead and start the summations with you. Your thoughts on the semifinals this evening and who you think might be going through.
Well, I have to say that, I tried to actually sing for once so I wouldn't get hollered at. But I'm gonna take my hat off to you and John, to be real honest with you. I think you guys crushed it. Again, it's, I did what I could, and hey, I'm glad I got this far. We'll see. I'm not giving up. I'm not a quitter. So Dead Broke Barbecue Nation, maybe they'll like it. Who knows? We'll see. But
all right,
you both really kicked my butt.
Doug, your thoughts on the evening itself?
I think it's going to be very close on the voting. You're not going to have someone run away, and you're not going to have someone dragging dead ass last. But I would have to say that Greg, in my opinion, you won the night. But that's my opinion.
John, your thoughts on the evening of singing?
You guys did a fantastic job, and I'm very hopeful to give Haniel a chance to mix me in a duet in the next round. And please extend my thanks to Haniel, because you guys that was amazing. It's like you're going to be hard to beat with him at the switch and your guys' vocals. So outstanding job to both of you. Very enjoyable.
Rusty, your thoughts on the evening?
All strong, man. I think you guys did a really good job, all 3 of you. I'm really impressed with what John was able to do on his own, because I know how much production value can add to a song that you guys don't quite understand. And the fact that he did all that stuff by himself was really fantastic. And the song he picked could not have been more perfect. I just think that he kind of did it. Right now, if he wins this time, who knows what's going to happen. Jeff, if he loses this time, I think he could have won it. This could have been his Saints playoff moment where he just kind of tanks at the last minute and then could have won the Super Bowl.
All right, ladies in the house here, your thoughts for the evening and what you would like to see in the finals. Bobby, you can go first.
I think all 3 of you did really, really good tonight. I don't know who will go through because it's only 2 go now, right? America votes.
Top 2 will go as America votes into the finals next month.
Yes. Well, I'm excited for next week. I'm looking for, or next month.
Next month for the show.
Next month. I'm excited for next month. Good job to everybody tonight.
Willis, your thoughts?
I think you guys also, the three of you did really good. And I want to see you guys all push yourselves again to see. And I think the final will be really good.
Maddie, final thoughts?
I think everybody did really good. I definitely have the two in my mind that I definitely think are going to get through. I will not be saying that. But
no names, please.
I think everybody did really good tonight. It was a good night for song choices and production and all that good stuff. But if you really want to knock my socks off, turn my mic off. For the next round, you should try to sing Decode by Paramore, because that's a very challenging song. And if one of the two who make it through did that, I would be very surprised if it was good.
I would be very surprised too, because that's a female singing a song. All right, so
It's a
that's
good
going to do
song.
it for the ladies. We appreciate you, and we thank you for your time. You are excused, and the beatings will commence after I get upstairs from doing posts, as always. My final thoughts for this evening are this. Of all of the seasons, now numbering 2, and into the semifinals here, pound for pound, this has got to be the best quality singing show that we have been able to produce thus far, which also gives me a tremendous amount of hope that come season 3, because, oh, by the way, there is going to be a season 3, we might actually be able to attract big names in the barbecue and grilling industry to take part in this. I floated out to some folks that maybe they would want to sponsor this, have prizes, things of this nature. So I think for as much as nobody wants to continue this ongoing, all of us, we are probably going to continue this ongoing at least for one more season. Maybe we can generate some serious cash. I know Jeff likes cash, so maybe that would be, $25,000 of the winner. I'll work on that. But man, I think we have something going here, and I want to extend my thanks to Jeff for doing it again another month. John, doing all yourself. By the way, as Rusty said, for those that don't know what goes into editing and producing, it probably took 30 minutes to cut the airport lines, like the air traffic between the tower and the plane, and doing it in 2 different filters, and then fitting it into the song, and saving and rendering, all that stuff, aside from the song itself. So, John, it was a tremendous effort. I know now why you wanted to run with it all by yourself, and I think you did a fantastic job. And I think the downside is, of course, that we had Haniel on our side, and thank goodness for that. Otherwise, I think Jeff and I might be sucking hind tint here this evening and hoping that we just come in second and not third. And that's that. All right. So let's go ahead and get ready to head out here. Before we do it, let me give you promotional time. Jeff, let me know what's happening with you and anything you would like to promote before we leave here this evening.
I'd like to promote my new Facebook group, the Dead Broke Barbecue Nation. And then July 1st, I'm going to be on that Martha Gets Dirty Season 1. I don't know how long, but I did about a 10-minute clip, and we'll see. It'll probably be 30 seconds on it on D+. So we'll see.
All right, Doug, what are you promoting tonight?
My all recipe article was released a couple of weeks ago. It's on technology and barbecue. I'll see and meet Rusty this weekend. We are going to a sausage making class. He's flying down this weekend. So he'll be staying in my house. So we are going to have some fun. And then I've got a Traeger class that's sold out starting July 8th on brisket.
John, what are we promoting?
This Friday is the best moments. Don't forget to check that out wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Just search the BBQ Central Show. I'd also like to ask you to take a look at johnsolberg.com. That's up and running. I've been offering individual one-on-one barbecue and grilling classes and a few other things. And you can find that at johnsolberg.com. I'd love to hear from you from there as well.
Rusty, what are we promoting?
Yeah, man, that sausage class is going to be bitching. So I'm excited about it. But on the podcast, the Pitmasters podcast this week, we have Chris Webb of Bushmaster Barbecue. Probably one of the hottest guys on the scene right now, especially on the West Coast. So check it out if you guys want to learn a little bit more about competition barbecue. Other than that, I'll see you guys next month.
All right, I'm promoting, if you want, the ad-free whatever podcast over at Patreon, patreon.com/BBQ Central Show. So if you want to get a podcast, live show, you're going to have to live with it because that's why we do it live.
We'll do it live. Okay.
That's why we do it live.
Do it live.
However, on the podcast, you can sans ad by going over to patreon.com/BBQ Central Show and then subscribing there if you want to. If not, just listen as normal. All right. Jeff, thank you. Doug, thank you. John, thank you. Rusty, thank you. They are the embedded correspondents right there. And I will do a bit of housekeeping info.
Whole packers, full
or not.
racks, legs and thighs.
Why bother?
Injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Craig Wimpy.
All right. We'll do it this way. This portion of the show brought to you by Vortic Watch Company, a small batch custom watch manufacturing and vintage restoration company located in northern Colorado, taking American pocket watches, turning them into wrist watches just like this one. Their mission, preserve and enhance the legacy of manufacturing excellence in America. In order to do that, they combine traditional and cutting-edge technology to create unique, quality, functional timepieces with exceptional value. And the coolest part, each watch that Vortic makes is unique, one of a kind. Vortic founded on the motto that America wasn't assembled, it was built. Check out vorticwatches.com or click the logo on the website, and you can see everything that they're offering there. Wow, what a tremendous month 3, semifinals. Can't believe it. Jeff showed up big. John showed up huge. I showed up as well. We thank once again the official sound guy of the Barbecue Central Show, Haniel Trisna, for mastering mine and Jeff's. He's also volunteered to master the duet that will happen in the finals between whoever the two finalists are. So as we end here this evening, and you're listening in podcast because you'll get this on Thursday unless you're watching the video, which you'll get all 2 hours. Right now starts the voting. Vote from now until Monday at midnight, and the top 2 of the 3 vote getters will make it to the finals, where we will have a pre-recorded duet. And then the thing that changed the face of internet shows all over the place, the 2 finalists will sing live on the show in the finals to try and take the title of the week later. So you have that to look forward to now, don't you? That's right. All the way back in the first hour, we were talking with Noah Glanville for Pit Barrel Cooker. PitBarrelCooker.com is the website.